Sultans of String with special guest Marc Meriläinen. And we'll just warm up here while the countdown runs through. Takeshi, nice to see you. Yeah, we are so excited. My name is Chris McCool from Sultans of String, and welcome to Backstage, brought to you through the help of Ontario Arts Council. This series runs Fridays at noon EST, broadcasting live from Burlington, Ontario. That countdown song was with Kevin La Liberté and Drew Burston on the bass. In just a moment, we'll get to chat with Marc. But first, we'd like to acknowledge and thank the many First Nations and the Métis, from the Anishinaabe to the Haudenosaunee to the Huron-Wendat to the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation for allowing us to share their traditional lands on which we feel blessed to live, work, and play. And let us know in the chat where you're watching from. And while you're there, if you're on Facebook, maybe hit the follow button. And but now we get to introduce Marc, the creator of the multi-award nominated NADJIWAN project. He's come full circle with his new musical direction. From a Finnish and Ojibway background, Marc has tried to embrace both culturally and musically. His new project incorporates the best of both worlds, sonically and musically. Marc has performed across Canada and the US at various festivals, venues, and events, including the 2010 Winter Olympic Games in Vancouver, BC. Please welcome to the Zoom room, Marc Meriläinen. Hey!
Thank you.
How's it going?
Great. Thank you. I feel like I'm in my own special place here.
You are. This is. I'm just so excited about this because, I'll admit right off the bat that I'm a bit of a fanboy.
Oh, thank you.
When your album came out, right in the middle of the pandemic, right, Star Nation, I fell in love with the sound. The whole world you had created is amazing.
Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, we created the world because we were kind of stuck in the pandemic sort of world, and we kind of needed it to get out.
Yeah. Well, and you went pretty far with that, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But first of all, how did the NADJIWAN project start? What does NADJIWAN mean?
Nadjawan, also pronounced actually Nadjawan by the Potawatomi and Ojibway. It's actually our family name, and that goes back, generations. My mother was Hilda Nadjawan, and the project started, I want to say, it was like the early 90s, right around the time the Oka crisis started over in Quebec.
Right.
And from that, I started writing a bunch of, they weren't quite songs yet. They were more like, poems, I guess. And then eventually, since I play guitar, I made them into songs, and that became the first NADJIWAN record, which came out in 95. And, fast forward 25, 30 years later, however long it's been, here we are.
Well, when I would like to play a video from your NADJIWAN project.
Sure.
But first, I wanted us to play a live song together. And I haven't announced this anywhere, so for those who tune in every week, this is the first mention of it. But it's as good a time as any. Sultans of String are in the process of recording a new album, and all of the songs are collaborations with Indigenous musicians across Canada from many different backgrounds and nations. And probably the first artist we started working with is Marc. So it's great that you're here. And this is a song that Marc wrote that we've been recording with them called A Beautiful Darkness. We'll play this live. Let us know where you're watching from in the chat. I know there's a Canada-wide Rogers and Bell downage right now, but for those who are maybe watching from overseas, let us know where you're watching from. But here we go with A Beautiful Darkness.
Been a long winter and we've kept safe inside, but now's not the time to run and hide. We gotta come together and we gotta do what's right. We gotta break the darkness and become the light. From the great spirit to the tallest tree, the future was made for us, yeah, you and me. When are we gonna see that we're all the same? Might be a beautiful darkness, but we gotta be the flame. Shine through the haze, and we'll shine through 4 days. We'll be okay, 'cause love shines away. Shine through the haze, and we'll shine through 4 days. We'll be okay, 'cause love finds a way. Cause love finds a way.
Fantastic.
It was fun, so much fun. I love you guys.
This is amazing. You know what? So, hello, Narm. Great to see you from North York, where I guess you have internet access. And Narm says rock on. And that actually, it makes me think of something I've been wondering about. Like, I feel like you and your band are kind of holding a torch, the actual rock band. Like, do you find that there's like almost no rock, like guitar-led rock bands anymore?
It seems like we're a dying breed, and there's less and less people doing it. But rest assured, my wife Laura and I, we go out to see a lot of acts variously throughout the city and even other parts of Canada. And there still are people doing rock music out there. There's still people playing guitars and rocking out. They exist.
Yeah, I tuned into the show you had at, is it the Basement
254?
254?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, it was great to see that live streamed. I wasn't able to make it out, but I was like, yeah, a rock band.
That's right. And I think Alex broke his cymbal that night. I helped him because we both hit the crash cymbal. He hit it with a stick, and I hit it with the stock of my guitar, and
it broke. It's not a rock show unless you start smashing the drums, blowing them up somehow. Now, so the Star Nation album. Oh, here's the CD. Here's what the CD cover looks like. I have something even better. Where did I put it? Oh. Well, I got my own autographed copy.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
You can order this online, right? Look at this vinyl.
There you go.
I love vinyl. Vinyl's hard to come by too. There's like
That's right.
A great vinyl backlog shortage. Like if you want to get vinyl pressed, you're looking at 6 months now, right?
That's right. That's right.
Supply chain, or I don't know.
There's something. That's right. There's all kinds of stuff.
But so kind of a concept album. Can you give us sort of the high level overview of what this concept album is about?
Sure. I think as we just mentioned earlier, we kind of put this together during the pandemic, and I've always been a fan of science fiction, especially science fiction literature. Throughout high school, I read, like a lot of the classic science fiction authors. And of course, remember my mother always telling me stories of the Star People and the different sort of stories regarding Indigenous people over several generations, how they're here to kind of, guide us and kind of show us the way to prosperity and how to live. So I didn't want to kind of take older sort of stories. I kind of wanted to create my own sort of narrative. So Star Nation is an original narrative of the Star People and kind of our interactions with them and the lessons and the morals they have to teach us. Because if they've traversed across the universe and traveled hundreds of millions of light years to get here, and we can't even get out of our solar system, I'm sure they have something valuable to teach us. So it's all about kind of that.
Where did you find the inspiration to create the sort of more contemporary new world of Star People? Like, where do you...
Well, again, I think it's just my knowledge of both traditional stories and then reading science fiction. And even, I'm a big fan of, science fiction films and TV.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of, ever since I think I was a wee lad, I was always kind of, writing my own little comics to do with science fiction. So coming up with a narrative wasn't that difficult. And I'm a big fan, of course, Star Wars and Star Trek. There's always the hero's journey through those narratives. So there's a little bit of that in there, too.
Excellent. Well, I really want to share with our viewers your Star Nation video. Sure. And then we're going to talk about it, because when I saw this, I just went bananas. Here we go, Star Nation. That deserves some applause. That is an incredible work of art. How the heck did you learn how to do all that?
Well, we had to figure it all out. Again, during the lockdowns, we couldn't go out and hire a production company or anything, so we had to watch a lot of YouTube tutorials, and I talked to some friends that actually are filmmakers, so they gave me some advice. And my wonderful wife, sitting over there, she actually, that model, she put that together and even painted it, the spaceship model. So so it was a lot of fun, and it gave us something to do with our kids, of course, because they're both in the video and they play
Which
on
is
the track.
amazing. That's amazing. So have they been playing with you for a long time, or was this kind
Only
of like
when I asked.
You're like, this is a pandemic. I need musicians.
Well,
You're going to learn to play.
Well, ironically, or maybe not ironically, Cole, who's now 20, who's the bassist, he actually, his first gig was with me when he was 9 years old at the Barrie Jazz and Blues Festival. And we did this crazy Finnish sort of set in this weird Karelian even scale and everything. And that was his first show. And I remember walking off the stage when he was 9, and he goes, "You know what, Daddy? I want to do this the rest of my life." I'm like, "Oh, what have I done?"
And you're like, "No,
no, become an investment banker."
No, are you kidding? You're supposed to be my retirement plan.
So he's been continuing music. He works more in hip hop. He likes creating beats and grooves, and kind of that's more his thing.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing to see you with your family in the video. It's really beautiful and heartening, and the special effects are fantastic, and the modeling is fantastic. I'm just like super impressed. Tell me about how do you think you balance those two worlds, the Finnish and Ojibway cultures? How do you find? Do you find like it's a tricky to balance them, or is it a natural fit, or do you find that you lean on one for certain kinds of motifs or musical things and the other background for other?
Yeah, I mean they're both completely different, opposite cultures, but at the same time there's a lot of similarities, we'll say, between the cultures for sure. And I grew up in Thunder Bay, Ontario, which has the largest Finnish population outside of Finland.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and they also have one of the largest Indigenous populations. So I didn't really feel weird living there because I was like, anyone else in the population there pretty much. But yeah, it is different, especially when it comes to the languages. I wrote and I did a tour completely in Finnish, the language. So even afterwards, like after the show, when people started talking to me, I wanted to answer back in Finnish, but like, oh no, this is English, right? So I had to kind of jig my computer up here. But yeah, I know it's interesting. It keeps you on your toes for sure. And I also play this Finnish instrument called the kantala, which is like a Finnish zither. And it's
if you had told me that earlier, I would have made you bring that.
Oh, next time on the next project, Chris. Yeah. We got to save these things. We got to bring them out.
Meet them out slowly.
Yeah. So it's a fun instrument to play. And it's got a unique sound all its own.
Cool. And how has you've been at this for a while, creating original music? How has Indigenous music in popular culture changed over the years? Like in the music that you're making, but also you see there's a big sort of growth of the industry side of Indigenous music, which is quite exciting now.
For sure. And many years ago, when I started, and other Indigenous musicians started, there wasn't really any infrastructure or not a lot of, opportunities or avenues to kind of get our music out there. And the public thought mainly Indigenous music was like powwow music. But no, there's great other compositions. There's even classical artists, Indigenous artists writing in that genre. And then in recent years, we've seen kind of a resurgence and sort of blow up of the industry itself. Now we have different sort of organizations, and there's different awards. There's also the annual Indigenous Music Summit, which happens at Folk Alliance every year. So there's all these sort of, different avenues, like I said, and opportunities now that did not exist before, including we have Sirius XM. We have our own channel on there, the Canadian Indigenous Peoples Channel.
Which is great. I love listening to Indigenous.
They have a lot. We listen to that every day. That's the only reason why we bought a subscription, Sirius, if you're listening, is because of that channel.
I did the same.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's the Indigenous Music Countdown, which is put on by NCI FM.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's a lot more things happening, and there's a lot more recognition. And artists, Indigenous artists, aren't just being known for powwow music. You have a lot of great artists creating all kinds of genres, from jazz to rock to pop and everything in between.
And the variety of music you hear on Indigenous is amazing.
That's right. That's right. Everything from hip hop to folk to country, you name it. Yeah.
What do you think is the role of music in keeping some of the traditions alive?
Well, I mean, with Indigenous people, like music, culture, tradition, it's all synonymous. Like, we don't separate it out. It's like, if we're telling a story or a message, and it happens to be through song or dance, these aren't two different things we're kind of doing at the same time. It's just something we do at once, like walking and eating, chewing gum. Like, yes.
Beautiful. Well, I'd love to play another song.
Sure.
You were talking about a song called "In the Morning." Can you tell us a little bit about that?
In the morning, actually, and I don't know how many people. Actually, I tell this to everybody. I was about to tell a secret, but I tell this to everyone at shows. This is actually one of the first songs I ever wrote. When I play guitar. So this song is literally, how old am I now? So this song is like 40 years old almost, you might as well say. But I still play it live at shows because people still love it. And I still enjoy playing it because it always reminds me like where I started.
Right. What key is it in?
F sharp minor.
We'll try not to mess it up.
Okay. F sharp minor is my favorite key as well.
The saddest of all
keys. The saddest of all keys, that's right. Everyone thought it was E minor, but no, it's F sharp minor. That's the saddest of all keys.
Violin players love F sharp.
Yeah. There you go. Well, there you go.
Great key.
All right, if we're all ready, here we go.
In the morning the sun rises and I don't know where I've been. Waking up to emptiness, letting the darkness in. I know that someday the light will shine through. Until then, girl, I will think of you. Across the street and see a little boy playing alone. He looks up and wonders, where is everybody gone? And I see a tear shed from the little boy's eye. I ask him how he's doing and he tells me that he is fine. In the morning the sun rises and I don't know where I've been, but I know that one day I will be back again. Will things be the same or will they have changed? I hope that you, girl, will still be the same.
All right. That is a beautiful song and perfect for the morning.
Thank you.
Well, tell us where you're going to be playing over the summer.
We actually have a show coming up, our first show of the summer, and our first show for a long time since the pandemic. That'll be July 16th at Ontario Place. That'll be from 7 till 9 p.m. on the Trillium stage in Trillium Park.
Is that the one that looks like kind of like trees? Like it's a kind of like an open gazebo concept?
That's right. It faces towards the city.
That's a really neat stage.
So we'll have the perfect airplane noise as they fly over the city.
Yeah, right. Well, they'll have canceled a few of the flights. So
Yeah.
it won't be as bad.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. And then after that, we're actually jumping on an airplane, and hopefully the luggage and all the
Oh my gosh,
stuff.
drive. You
Hopefully
should drive.
No, we got to go to Vancouver. So we got to fly out to the West Coast, and we're doing a Fusion Fest out there. And then we fly back, and then I was just looking at Laura to remind myself the schedule. And then we go up to Thunder Bay, Ontario, where we're shooting a concert film. We're playing a big concert up there, and we're shooting a concert film with a 7-camera HD shoot. And if that isn't enough work, then that same week we're also recording a new record in Thunder Bay out at Chippewa Park. We rented this huge wooden pavilion, and we're going to do it in there. And then if that is enough work, we're also playing live on the waterfront with J.C. Campbell on the Wednesday.
Nice.
And then we head out to Red Rock because we don't have enough things to do yet. So then we head out to Red Rock and we play live from the Rock. Nadjawan will be doing a workshop there on the Star People. And
Oh, cool.
J.C. Campbell will be playing a main stage show. And he's one of the artists that we've signed to our label in the last year. And we're going to back him up. And so it's a summer full of activity.
What's the name of your label?
It's Meriläinen Music.
Yeah, right on. And if people want to find out more about where all those dates and times, is it the headingnorthmusic.com?
They could go there, or if you follow us on Facebook, if you go to Nadjawan Music, I think it's facebook.com/Nadjawan Music off the top of my head. Actually, if you just search that, it'll be the first thing that comes up in the search.
And there's how you spell Nadjawan.
That's
DJ
right.
Nadjawan.
There we go. And you can also follow us on Instagram. I think it's at Meriläinen Music. I'm just looking at my wife. She's nodding. Okay, that's right.
And what else did I want to ask you about? Oh, so we were talking about how we were creating this, Sultans of String are creating this album with collaborations with Indigenous artists across the country. And just wondering, like, from your point of view, what role music can play in bringing together Indigenous and non-Indigenous artists? What is the role for that in sort of bringing Indigenous issues to the forefront, or...
Yeah, here's what I found over the years, is that everything is more digestible when it's through cool music and groovy tunes. And if you like the music, it's hard to hate the culture or the people. And I think music has always been bringing together all kinds of people, all kinds of differences, even on people on different sides. Because when you're doing music and you're playing the songs, it becomes about the songs and the music. It's not so much about... your own personal agenda or whatever it is that you're trying to push, although you can do that through music as well. And it's great, these sort of collaborations, especially these cross-cultural collaborations, because sometimes people are always wondering, I wonder what they're doing over there, and I love to, kind of love what that sounds about, and I like to be involved, but everyone's kind of afraid to ask or, to go the next step. So this is great that we can hopefully foster and promote these collaborations for other people as well.
Yeah, it's like opening a door.
That's right.
To more conversations.
Absolutely.
And I've already learned a lot, and I want to learn more about you and your art. We're almost wrapping up here.
Okay.
But let's get a little bit of thank you music going on, and then we'll turn that into a little bit of a jam on one of Marc's songs.
All right.
Called Scotum, which I believe is your newest single.
It is. It's the new single, yes.
We have a few people to thank. Thanks to our collaborators, especially Marc and Laura. Thank you, Laura. I've learned today how much of Marc showing up with his guitar is due to Laura. Thanks to our admin team, Kevin, Lisa, Dave, Tanya, Christine, Max, Eric, our tech team of Katrina, John, Guillermo, Rick, Mary, and Chester, the best friends a musician could ever have. Steve and Brent from Yamaha Canada. Mark and all of us in the band here are all playing through line 6 Yamaha pedals. Fontana, CEN, and Proper for helping us get our music out there. And Ontario Arts Council for supporting this series. And Takeshi. This world was made for you and me. Yeah, that's right, brother. Music is peace. You can find Sultans of String at a few shows this summer. We're playing Union Summer in August. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this yet, but we're playing at the Festival of Arabic Music and Arts in November. We've got shows a little bit all over the place. Check out sultansofstring.com. And of course, Heading North Music for Marc Meriläinen. Support Mark. Buy his music. Amplify his voice. And here we are with a song called Scotum.
From the 416 to the 705, fill up the tank for the drive. On the road and we won't take long. Filled the playlist with our songs. Up the 400 to the 69, keeping it chill, we're taking our time. Easy foot on the gas, except when it comes time to pass. I shouldn't have had that third cup, and now we need to find a place to stop. We hit traffic and now construction, but it's only 10 minutes to the station. Up the 400 to the 69, keeping it chill, we're feeling fine. From the steel and land of talk, from the big smoke to the Neckerland rock. Scotum, land of Scotum, land of Scotum, yeah, yeah. Scotum, land of Scotum, land of Scotum, alright. Scotum, yeah, yeah. Scotum, land of Scotum, land of Scotum, alright. Scotum, land of Scotum, land of Scotum, Scotum, land of Scotum, land of Scotum.
Well, thanks so much again for tuning in, and thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
And have an amazing summer out on the road.
Thanks, I will, and I hope you guys do too.
All right, we'll see you all later. Take care of yourselves out there.